Good morning, Selena. No, I'm out of magic. I'm over encumbered, but it doesn't matter. I want to talk about the strategy. The mage's strategy doesn't seem right to me. You see, the way I play it, we spend much more magicka than we can gain from crawling dungeons and alien ruins and finding flowers or magical ingredients is just by the way. So unless we go harvesting restore magicka plants ever so often, we cannot proceed further like this. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, and I have thought about it in the time that I've been recovering my computer from the crashed game, or I've been checking the videos whether they have anything has been lost or not, and I have thought if we have such problems with our magicka reserves, maybe the mage character of Oblivion is not supposed to be played the way we play it, or I play it. I think mage, because when I think about the Wilverin ruins retrospectively, I see there were many places which were useless to fight through. There were so many skeletons which guarded nothing, and so there was no point in defeating them. I mean, mage that's not a dungeon sweeper. He is not supposed to go to any place and kill all the enemies. That's what warriors or barbarians do, or are supposed to do, and what they are built and meant to do. They go there and shall withstand all enemies and all resistance from the site. They can afford to sweep the dungeon clean and leave no living enemies behind. A mage probably is supposed to be something between a thief, the stealthy character who sneaks by all of them, loots everything and sneaks out again and doesn't kill anybody, or almost anybody. He kills just those he cannot avoid otherwise. But a mage has more options than to fight the enemies. I mean, destruction magic, we mostly use destruction magic, and it's not all we need to use. We have plenty of magic, plenty of other magic schools, and I think we don't use them, or I don't use them. Alteration, for example. Why don't I make myself invisible? I could have spent far less magicka on making myself invisible and just sneak through, or I don't need to be sneaking, but I just pass through the guarded areas in the invisible form, and I look. Is here something to loot? Is here nothing? Do I need to fight anybody? Can't I avoid them? You see, so I can make use of the illusion magic and take invisible shape and just go through the dungeons like that. It's not sneaking. It's not thief. It's not the thief's way. I mean, there are thief classes or stealth classes which make use of illusion magic, but pure thief wouldn't do that. Pure thief would be really sneaking. So, and myself as a mage, oh yes, do it. myself as a mage can make use of the illusions magic. I mean, that's one of the purposes I have that illusion as a major skill. So I think I should be more careful with the magic and use more illusion magic, make myself invisible. And if not invisible, sometimes you really need to grab items, and as soon as you interact somehow with the environment, you make yourself visible. It breaks the invisibility spell. So in that case it's better chameleon, where you are not quite invisible, but it improves your sneaking somehow, and you can still interact with the objects, take something, open chests, and I don't know what else. So I think the key is save magicka, use more illusion magic, and it doesn't have to be magic. We have alchemy. We can make invisibility potions. We can buy potions. We have loads of money. So this would be one thing. The other thing would be, well, what else? I don't know if you have any other ideas how to use the skills a mage has to get through dungeons, to get the loot, to explore places without fighting that much, because fighting costs too much magic, I hear, at least in this stage. I know that when we are skilled, when our destruction skill is 90 and above, the spells will get cheaper and the effects will get much cheaper and it will be much more effective. But we are now in the mid-game and it's a critical stage where enemies have lots of hit points, and spells to destruct that many hit points are very expensive, and we cannot afford to kill everything in the dungeons. So another strategy would be to avoid dungeons altogether and don't go to a dungeon when you don't need to. I mean, did we really need to go to Wilverin? I had 20 Restore Magicka potions. We could have been happy with them. I don't need 13 Wilkin stones. You know? There was no need to go to Wilverin. Maybe the mage is not supposed to crawl every dungeons. Maybe we could focus on doing forts, because we have these quests about Shadow Banish Wine, or well, maybe these Aliad statues are another kind of quest we could do, and therefore we should try an Aliad ruin from time to time, but we shouldn't crawl them regularly, like I feel like doing a ruin because I need Wilkin stones. No, that's the wrong way. The net outcome was really almost nothing from Wilverin. So I think we need to rethink, or I need to rethink the strategy, the gameplay, the roleplay of the mage. He's not the fighter, he's not the dungeon sweeper. He could be stealth, but stealth is not really his kind of weapon. He should use this invisibility and just avoid fights, and avoid fights by magical means. I mean, there is another spell, Turn Undead. I haven't used it once since the beginning of Nagdial's adventures. It's because I know it helps you only in the first 4 or 5 levels. Then the undead have that high level that your spells are not effective against them. But turning undead is really nice. You cast that spell once and it lasts for 1 minute or so, and then you pass the dangerous part of the dungeon and you're okay. They don't touch you. You see that turning undead is something a warrior or barbarian wouldn't do unless he has a weapon or some magical device for it. But we have the ability, we have the major skill of, I don't know, is it illusion again? Illusion magic? To turn undead. Maybe I should look into it and as soon and don't do any dungeons until I'm in the Arcane University, make my custom spell of turn undead level 12 or so and use that. So if you have any other suggestions how we can deal with the enemies, the other means is, you have seen it, I've used it after the crash, is magic staffs and use lots of soul trap, recharge the staffs, but I'm running out of soul gems, but we can deal with that. We can buy some soul gems. We have lots of Varla stones, so we can recharge. So use more staffs and don't use magic from the own body. Yeah, so comment on this, and I think the next parts will have a real different strategy, different approach to the game. We won't just stop and hey, I feel like crawling a dungeon. No, I won't do it unless I really see I have too much magica reserves and I somehow don't need that much and we can waste some magic on this one dungeon. Then it's the time to make an adventure like this. But I think the adventures of a mage should have something else to them than crawling dungeons and killing everything what lives there. So that much for today's session. I have enjoyed it, even though we have wasted or did not gain anything from Wilverin, except, well, we did quite good loot. I think it could be some 2000 gold we can make of it, and some Welkin stones. It's good to have Welkin stones again, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the net outcome of it. Great. Save it here and quit it. See you next time, guys.